Welcome to Cardigan Bay Fishing Adventures. If you're new to the channel, my name is David Barber. Today I'm working on the cuddy, as you can see. Unfortunately, I've had to do a voiceover. I lost all the audio to this video. I didn't want to scrap the video because it's part of the restoration, so I thought I'd do a quick voiceover on it. The video's only 7 minutes long, so it doesn't drag on too much. As you can see what I'm pointing at there, that's the original thickness of that cuddy around the window frame. It had actually cracked from the force of the fly bridge on top of it. So I've been trying to rack my brains how to get around it, and I've decided to shrink the side windows, as you can see. This helps me for a number of reasons, which you will see later on in the build, through the build series. It's just a part of the plan going forward. This is going to give a lot more strength to the side of this cuddy, and gives me a cheaper bill on Perspex windows as well, because it's smaller. So what I'm going to be doing now is putting wax onto this melamine board. What I didn't mention just now, that melamine board is hot glued to the outside of the cuddy, and I've got it as flat as physically possible. So I'm going to go over this with 2 or 3 layers of this release wax, which is a Meguiar's release wax. To be honest, I don't think you need to use any. I think it'd release without, but I did start doing this as a precaution when I first started doing sort of mold release sort of thing. I've now changed to doing 1 layer and it releases fine. I'm yet to try it without any mold release. Once you've got all this wax on, keep it off the fiberglass. Do not touch the fiberglass with it. Only get it on the board and watch around the edges. This is polyester laminating resin that I'm using. It's Lloyd's approved. I've got it from MB Fiberglass. I've mixed up a batch here of 500 grams to 5 grams of catalyst, which is a 1% mix. So I'm going to apply this to the board, all around, everywhere, just like a sort of a pre-soak. So when this matting goes on, the mat will stick to the board and it starts to get soaked from underneath on its own. It just makes it a lot easier to wet out. No matter what your application is or where you're working, always wet it out first. This matting is chop strand and it's 450 GSM. As you can see, I've cut it to the shape of the window. And I'm going to probably do 2 layers of chop strand, a roven, and another 2 chop strand, another roven, and then another 2 plus chop strand over everything. But what I need to do first is build up that area to the original thickness of the cuddy, and then what I'll do is fiberglass over all of it to tie it all together and onto the ceiling of the cuddy. Obviously, before fiberglassing on any of this fiberglass, I've had to grind it all back, get rid of all the old stuff, which you can see in front of you there. The purple areas is the original where there's paint. Everywhere else has been ground back to the raw glass. You need to do that to get a good adhesion. Otherwise your fiberglass is not going to stick properly. You'll have laminating issues, which means it's going to come away. This step is a consolidation roller. So this is just going to remove any excess air or resin and get it nice and flat onto that board. So now I've skipped ahead quite a lot. That other side has now been done, and as you can see, the tabbing goes well into the ceiling. Here I'm explaining how many layers I've used, like I've just said to you about all the layers that I've put into it. Roven has to be sandwiched in between chop strand because you'll have issues with it coming away. It doesn't stick very well. So you can sort of look at chop strand as glue, the roven strength, and then you're adding chop strand on top again to sandwich it. Here now, I'm going to be doing the whole ceiling area, as you can see, of the boat. Well, the cuddy, sorry, not the boat. So that was old resined consolidation roller, and now this is a layer of super heavy roven woven. I want some really good strong strength in this ceiling on this cuddy. Roven, as you can see, you can brush it on like I'm doing here. So we're going to wet this out, and then basically we'll give this a good roll, which you'll see any moment now. It's obviously sped up to try and keep it to the point and not so boring. You can see there as I'm rolling, it's changing colour. This is because the matting's wetting out and it's getting rid of any excess air or resin. And it'll sort of go glossy or glassy, if you want to call it that, as you'll see right there. I'm not putting any pressure on this, I'm just using the weight of the roller back and forth. I am sorry for the poor video, because it is a bit of a poor video. I just didn't want to miss the step out. This is actually the next day now, and what I want to do is release this board to show you the finish that you can have underneath. Obviously, after I fiberglassed all of these windows, I let it all go off, and then I got the cuddy onto the boat. I used some Gravicol bonding paste around the edge. You can still see one of the G-clamps there. I've bonded it on, and then what I've done is gone around it with a layer of chop strand, just to tie the cuddy on for now, and I'm going to be doing lots of layers of Roven and chop strand to really get it on there nice and strong. It's meant to be bolted on technically from a rug original, but I want it fiberglassed on. I think it's a better finish, and it's a stronger finish. So as you can see, I'm being careful here, trying to release this. I don't want to just rip it off. Gently put the screwdriver in and twist, just try and let it pop, and you'll hear a big crack. And you can't get a much better finish than that. That's turned out absolutely spot on. It's level with the original fiberglass. Obviously it needed a bit of sanding and a bit of prep if you was leaving it like this. Obviously I'm going to be fiberglassing over that anyway, but I just needed to infill the window. You can see it's absolutely spot on. Nice and strong as well. Here I'm just walking around, you can see where I've fiberglassed the cuddy on. So you can sort of give you an idea of the seam and the finish. It's quite nice. And then this is the other side. Obviously the flybridge is going on top of that, and it will all be fiberglass right down the side and all over it. Anyway, I'm sorry for the voiceover. I hope you've sort of enjoyed this video. I doubt you have. Thank you for watching. If you can, give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next part, which is going to be the flybridge modifications, and yeah, there we go. Thank you.